Hello and welcome to Ms. Pam Reads Christian Content, where we are continuing in the book Abscond by GG Wagner. And in our last video, Lyzee had some concerns about the computer that Milo is looking for. And she called Pastor Danny and kind of basically confessed her guilt and shame to him about her previous actions. And he put her at ease with some pertinent Bible verses and kindness. So now the section is cat and mouse. The dishes in the cabinet rattled as they gently rocked together. Lyzee peeked out the blinds to see Finley turning into the driveway, grabbing for her boots, the ankle ones with the heel that made her almost the same height as everyone else. Did Lyzee catch a glimpse of her reflection on the back of the door and tried to smile? Must be there's a mirror there. The girl in the mirror looked put together. Deceiving, Lyzee thought. Lost. She stared into those gray eyes, an alert from her phone bringing her back. Searching for her cheery voice, she spoke into the phone while zipping her boot. Coming, Lyzee said. Watching as Finley bent closer to the camera on the doorbell, Lyzee laughed at the eyeball staring back at her on the screen. Struggling to push one arm into the sleeve of her jacket while the other maneuvered the deadbolt, Lyzee opened the door, nearly breathless. I want to hire your cleaning lady. This place looks like a showroom, Finley said. Fighting the sense of pride welling up, Lyzee struggled to suppress a smile, her cheeks filled with heat instead, thinking of the shack she had shared with her mom. I hope you're planning to put makeup on in the car. Emma sent a message saying River was coming and was asking about you, Finley said. I'm wearing my boots with the heel. What more do you want from me? Lyzee teased. I want you to actually have a conversation with the poor guy. He's crazy about you, Finley said. Opening the front door, Lyzee waited for Finley, an impish smile threatening to expose her thoughts. She told herself he was just being nice, but what if he really liked her? I'll be right out. I just need to set the alarm and lock the deadbolt, Lyzee said. Feeling Finley's eyes boring through her, she avoided eye contact. She knew Finley had something to say, but wasn't sure she wanted to hear it. The stare continued in the silence and with the motor still off, so Lyzee guessed there was no avoiding it. What? Lyzee asked. That is what I was going to ask you. What is all of the security about? College students don't do that. Just saying, Finley said. Forcing a smile, Lyzee stared at her hands, taking a few seconds to pull her thoughts together. Finley's friendship had been an unexpected blessing, and Lyzee was not sure she would have made it this far through nursing school without her. She wanted to be honest, but knew there was too much at stake. My life is different than a lot of typical college students, Lyzee said. You're talking about the baby? Finley asked. Lyzee's eyes stared out the front window. She wasn't sure why she should be so surprised. Finley knew she had been pregnant, and then she wasn't. They had never talked about it, and Lyzee wanted to keep it that way. Blinking to keep the tears at bay, a lump formed in her throat. She didn't know how to respond. I've always wanted to tell you how much I respect you. You did the noble thing, putting your baby up for adoption, Finley said. The car started up, the sudden thump of the stereo making Lyzee jump in her seat. A spontaneous chortle exploded from Finley, so contagious that Lyzee burst out as well. Laughing that hard served to release the pent-up emotion that had filled her moments ago. You can grab my makeup bag if you want. It's on the seat behind you, Finley said. All right. I must look really terrible. With finals approaching, I haven't been sleeping that well, Lyzee said. Flipping the vanity mirror down, she began applying concealer under her eyes. Taking a long look, she could have sworn that was the same car parked on the street in front of Sharon's. Drive through Westlake Plaza up here on the left. I want to see if that movie I was telling you about is playing, Lyzee said. Just look it up on your app, Finley teased. Humor me. I am trying to apply this makeup. We're not in a hurry, are we? Lyzee asked. Lizzie's eyes moved beyond her face as she noticed that same car had turned in behind them. Finley was slowing in front of the marquee while the other car pulled into a parking space. Lyzee breathed a sigh of relief, certain she was once again being paranoid. We could put that movie on our list of things to do, Lyzee said. Since we're here, we might get coffee, right? Finley asked. They were in and out of the drive-through in a flash. Reaching for the visor, Lizzie's hand froze, deciding to keep it down because the suspicious car was directly behind them. Holding both cups so Finley could focus her attention on the crowded parking lot, Lyzee twisted in her seat. The car behind them moved through the line without stopping at the window. Who does that? I forgot to see what time the movie plays. Drive by one more time. I'm free Saturday. We could make a plan right now. Maybe River and Ian would like to join us, Lyzee said. The car slipped into the theater lot. Lizzie's senses were on alert. Without being too conspicuous, she let her eyes linger in the mirror, pretending to blend her blush. Best she could tell, there were two men, neither of which were Milo. Lyzee gasped as she felt the liquid soaking into the fabric of her sweater and quickly righted the cup. Did you burn yourself? Finley asked excitedly. No, through this thick sweater, I didn't even feel it. What a mess. At least it all went on me and not in your car, Lyzee said. Tell you what, we'll both just skip out tonight. I'll just run the donuts in at Emma's. It would be a disaster to have a Bible study without them. You don't even have to come in, Finley said. Lyzee laughed. Now that she thought about it, there were always donuts. A little bit of disappointment washed over her as she thought about not seeing River. Almost forgetting about the car, she glanced in the mirror. It was still there. The hairs on her arms stood on end again, and she rubbed them. You don't have to miss out. Sharon is actually grocery shopping tonight, and this market is where she goes. Let's drive through the rows and see if I can see her car. That way, you don't have to take me all the way back home, Lyzee offered. Or you could send her a message and ask if she is here. Are you sure you're 21? My mom uses technology more than you do, Finley teased. Lyzee was formulating a plan that got Finley out of there. She had no intention of dragging her into this and was praying she could give them the slip once alone. Fighting her emotions and not wanting Finley to pick up on her anxiety, Lyzee tried to appear calm as they rambled leisurely through the lot, the car still trailing behind them. Can you drop me off at the door? Asked Lyzee. I just saw her car. Finley slowed in front of the door, Lizzie's hand perched over the handle and ready to jump as soon as the car stopped. Waving from the sidewalk, Lyzee made sure the driver of the other car saw her. The plan seemed to be working. The car pulled into a parking space. Lyzee darted into the store as Finley drove away. She moved in an erratic fashion up and down the aisles looking for cover. This entire charade would all be for naught if she was spotted by Sharon, and so made a decision to slip in next to a family that was exiting the store, matching their pace. No one seemed to notice, except for the little girl riding in the seat of the cart. Her volume increased with each giggle as she pointed a chubby finger in Lizzie's direction, causing heat to creep up her neck and fill her face. Even with that, the chill in the air made her shudder as the automatic doors slid closed behind her. Milo's warning played in her head. Those had to be the traffickers, and she cursed herself inwardly, knowing she should have already absconded. Abscond. A few steps into the parking lot, she spotted Sharon's car, her heart thumping wildly. Opening the back door, she lowered herself onto the floorboard behind the driver's seat, wondering what the scratchy object was she was sitting on. Lyzee wrestled it free, discovering an oversized straw hat. Lying on her side, she pulled her legs to her chin, attempting to use the hat as cover, the weave having just enough holes for her to peek through. She could hear people passing by, talking casually. Squeezing her eyes shut and waiting to be found out, she noticed every sound. A car was droning in the distance, the rhythmic clatter becoming louder before it stopped. A car door slammed, probably a row over. It took all of her will not to scream. In seconds, she heard another cart clambering, the intensity shifting. It was distant, but coming closer with ferocity. Click, click, click. The sound was getting louder. Every muscle in her body tensed when she felt the car move slightly. Seeing a shadowy figure in the window, click, click, the wheels stopped. They all look alike under these lights. If you hit the panic button on your fob, I'm sure you'll find yours, Sharon said, and Lyzee understood. Sharon thought the stalkers had simply chosen the wrong car by mistake. Lyzee dared not move, the prickling sensation permeating up and down her numb arm, an effective but unwelcome distraction. Ever-changing dots of muted yellow flashed in her eyes through the straw hat. She was still disoriented from her vantage point, but was almost certain this must be Main Street. She reassured herself only a few more minutes and she could stretch. Holding her breath at the deceleration, Lyzee's body shifted with the turn. The interior light filled the space, making her body tense. She was literally hiding in plain sight. With Sharon's car door open, Lyzee could feel a blast of cold air. A bag rustled and then a thud. Lyzee allowed her breath to escape through clenched teeth as she struggled with pangs of guilt. Sharon would insist on getting the police involved, and Lyzee couldn't risk that. She stared into the darkness, desperate for her eyes to adjust as the interior light faded into blackness. The quiet around her was suddenly interrupted by a ping, startling Lyzee. It came from somewhere under the hood. As the motor cooled, she moved from her side to her back, relishing the new position, rubbing her arm in an attempt to coax back some sensation. The spotlight on the back of the house illuminating the driveway had her trapped. Shielding the display of her phone with cupped hands, she knew it was now or never. Once inside the bungalow, Lyzee packed a few things to hold her over. She nearly toppled with the weight of her backpack and began to remove and rearrange items, making it more bearable. The textbooks were definitely out. Maybe Gwen could get those to her once things settled down, she thought. Lyzee decided it best if she waited until she made it almost to the cabin before contacting Gwen. She could explain being followed and what Milo had told her about the human traffickers once she was out of town and out of harm's way. Lyzee stumbled, then scrambled to right the toppling end table in the near darkness of the bungalow. She moved with caution now, aware of how close she'd come to alerting Sharon of her presence. If Sharon knew about the threat from Milo and then the mysterious car tonight, there would be no keeping things quiet. Lyzee thought of how different these two mother figures in her life were. Gwen supported and guided, but allowed her to make the decisions, whereas Sharon just tried to fix everything. Milo had been adamant that Lyzee knew she had to get to that computer before anyone else got dragged into this mess. Lyzee bit her lip as she started typing the text to Sharon's phone and hoped God would forgive her for the lie. After Bible study, Finley and I started studying for one of our classes, and since it's so late, I'm going to stay here tonight. Good night. I love you. Okay, that's the end of that section. The next chapter, I love the title. Duh, duh, duh. Anyway, sorry. I'm not sure Lyzee's making a wise choice there, but I guess we'll have to keep reading and see what happens. All right, you guys. I hope you have a blessed day, and I will see you next time.